Good morning and welcome to Rate Update for Thursday.
With all the uncertainty out there in the world, I'm getting a lot of questions from clients, professional partners, neighbors, friends about what the state of the housing market is. Hey guys, it's Evan Swanson here with Guild Mortgage. A quick update for you now that we've wrapped up the first quarter of 2025 and are firmly into the spring. Let's first start off by taking a look at the housing market. Now, keep in mind, in the spring, the housing market tends to typically heat up. But I would actually describe the current market as a little bit Goldilocks, meaning that it's not too hot, it's not too cold. In some respects, it's just right. See, in the spring, it's common for new listings to rapidly increase as more and more sellers bring their house to the market. And you can see that 2025, the black line, is no different. We are seeing an increase in the number of listings, which is a seasonal pattern. Now, the beauty about 2025 is that net inventory is growing. The supply of homes available for sale to buyers is increasing. And if you go back and look at the previous 4 years, even though new listings tend to increase, there's actually a dip in the new inventory, which is a signal that in previous years, demand has outweighed the new supply. This year's different. New supply is actually currently outpacing demand, which also shows up in the RMLS months of inventory. This is a measure of if no new homes are brought to the market, how quickly the current inventory of homes would sell at the current pace of selling. And you can see this number between 3 and 3.5 months is greater than it's been in the spring of the last couple years. So it's not quite as much of a frenzy as we've seen in the previous few years. Meanwhile, home appreciation is also not too hot and not too cold. The most recent reading on the S&P Case-Shiller shows that homes in the Portland metro area have increased by about 3% year over year. This is a little bit below the national number of 4% year over year, but you can see this is a much more moderate increase as we become accustomed to when homes were increasing at 10% per year or more. So if you're a buyer, if you're a seller, home prices are still increasing, but they're increasing at a much more gradual rate than we've seen historically. Now, on the demand side, what about interest rates? Well, interest rates since the beginning of the year had been moving very nicely lower, and we were starting to get pretty excited about the mortgage rates that we could offer. However, the tariff announcement, which took place in the beginning of the month, sent mortgage rates higher sharply. And since then, we have seen them begin to come down again. The reality is that mortgage rates are still within the range that they've been since September of 2022, when they firmly went above 6%. Since then, mortgage rates have oscillated between 6 and 8%, with an average right around 7%. The good news is right now, national averages are below that. And what we know about demand is that home buyers are particularly sensitive to interest rate movements. This is a graph that demonstrates mortgage rates with the orange line, and the gray area in the background being the volume of purchase mortgage applications. And what you can see is that when interest rates dip, as they did at the tail end of last year, the volume of mortgage applications increase. And again, as interest rates dip, as they were at the beginning of the spring, the volume of buyers come into the marketplace. So mortgage rates will likely significantly increase or impact the number of buyers out there. Now, as we look at the percentage of home sellers that are having to decrease their prices in order to attract a buyer, this is at the highest level for where we're at in the year in over 10 years. So again, this is another signal of balance. And if you're a buyer or a seller, if you're thinking about how to take advantage of this market, understand that oftentimes agreeing to a seller credit or concession to be applied to an interest rate buy down can offer that buyer more affordability, which is oftentimes a better solution. If you have questions about how this current market condition is impacting you, or if you have plans in the near future for any housing transitions, you know that we're standing by and would be honored to assist you. Please contact us today. Thank you so much.